everyone. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned into the NFL on EA Sports. We should have a good one on tap here today. It's the Broncos coming in at 7-0, going up against the Chiefs, who come in at 6-1. With that, let's get you out to Brandon Gotton and Charles Davis. They've got the call of this Week 9 matchup.
Larry, we are at the foot of the Rockies as EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the picturesque city of Denver, Colorado. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Denver Broncos. And hello again, everyone. Brandon Gordon alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, we look at this Bronco team. They can't be any better as we hit the halfway mark. A perfect 7-0 on the year.
And when we looked at this team in August and we looked at the schedule, we thought they had the potential to get off to a hot start. But I don't think either of us expected 7-0.
Meanwhile, for the visitors here, the Chiefs, they're in a real groove of late. Winners of 5 of their last 6 games.
And the offense last week, they had things humming. If you're a defensive player, you may get overshadowed a little bit, but you're really buoyed by what your offense is doing.
The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final 2 bring us as we're off in Week 9? And the mile-high air in full effect as that's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So here come the Chiefs for their opening drive. They'll be led out by the #1 overall selection back in 2005 out of the University of Utah. It's Alex Smith.
Well, he did go 2-2 in the last ball game. Well, actually, he went 2-2-1, with the 1 being the victory.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line there. But wasn't it funny at practice? He threw one when we were watching, threw an interception, and the defense got on him a little bit, good-naturedly. But they're letting him know, you got to cut down those interceptions. We can't bail you out all the time.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. But as you said, they got the win in that effort last week. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Okay, there's a tone setter. First play from scrimmage, stuff them in the backfield.
You know what they were doing last night in the hotel room? Visualizing exactly that. That's what they were thinking about.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Cliff Averill in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year. Well, these sacks are really piling up. Last week, it was a half-dozen sacks. And here's one on the opening drive.
And it has the potential to be what we call a gap, a game-altering play. Because, let's face it, you just mentioned 6 sacks last week. Now, if you're an offense and you saw that on tape, you got to think to yourself, maybe I bring people in, keep them in, and try and protect my quarterback. It didn't work on that play.
They wind up getting 16, but even that's not quite enough. It's 4th down. He punted 5 times in the win last week as this one's away. Powering forward, and now running right through it. Call that a 46-yard punt, though they did get 9 back on the return. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10. Now a first carry for T.J. Yeldon. Try to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. And let's look quickly here at the Denver offense.
The growth of Demaryius Thomas since college has led him to be a consistent Pro Bowl receiver in the NFL. In college, ran a lot of the deep routes, almost all the time, almost exclusively. The NFL has added in everything else. Big-bodied guy, excellent production, but still his stock in trade, getting downfield and catching the long ball.
Cutler will throw. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Emmanuel Sanders, the intended receiver. And now it's 3rd down. And the offense looking to pick up the 1st down after the 2nd down incompletion.
Here we go.
On 3rd down, Cutler. And that's complete. It's Green here. And brought down, but not before he was able to break the tackle, and the extra effort moves the sticks. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Bronco 1st down. Just the first quarter, but tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you, from my days, I remember being in college and worrying all off-season about our season opening opponent, and they had a receiver that could shake and bake with the best of them. I tackled him on the first pass of the game, and the relief was incredible. Ended up having a pretty decent ball game. But if I'd missed him, it would have been a different story. Long night.
On second down, Cutler. And he will find his man for the first time, Demaryius Thomas. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you go lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-armed guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
They'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this.
Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Demaryius Thomas, his 9th touchdown of the season, and the Broncos have taken the early lead. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Now McManus on to kick this one off. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And out come the Chiefs now. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders. That
guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak can have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
On second down, here's Smith. The catch is made. Benny Fowler. They'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for third down.
When you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Now whistles as time has run out on this first quarter. 7-0 is our score. Charles and I back to Denver after this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. As the Chiefs in possession of the football as we begin the second quarter. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. Here's Dustin Colquitt now as he'll punt it away for the second time. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And he'll take this in at the 1-yard line. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Demaryius Thomas gets set to go again on offense. He's doing what he's capable of, having a solid game. Not the most amazing game. He's not over 100 yards, but a good game so far.
And you just know that mentally, he feels like he's one catch away from turning it into a great game and starting on that road. And the defenders are well aware of that, too. They've got to figure out a way to not let that escalate. Keep him right in this zone here and call it a day, because otherwise he can really decimate them.
Better believe they are well aware of his playmaking ability. On second down, here's Cutler. Eluding the pressure right. Looking deep for Demarius. Oh, the rookie nearly had the pick. Probably should have had it. Third down now.
Fans do love the long ball, don't they? And he already found his guy once. Tried to give him another chance there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Couldn't connect, but as you alluded to, he does have that touchdown from earlier, trying to keep him in the rhythm. On 3rd and 1, it's Cutler. And he will have a man, Demarius Thomas. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get deep.
Yeah, that wasn't the first option.
No, it came off of that guy, the deep guy, and came underneath on the drag. Completed it very well.
A first down carry now for Yeldon. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
They'll run it again with Yeldon. They'll be dropped shy of the 40 despite powering through the tackle. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down?
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
And he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively, but instead it just brings up 4th down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. 36 yards on the punt with no return. And it's Chiefs football, 1st and 10. And now here comes Kansas City. This is their 3rd drive. Right now, maybe not about points, just about getting something. They haven't gotten a first down yet in this game.
It's a mental barrier you don't think about until you go a couple of drives without getting a first down. Then all of a sudden it looms big. It gets harder and harder to actually attain that first down.
They'll start with Hunt on the ground. And he'll be stopped up at the line of scrimmage with a flag down. Let's check on the call. So some holding over on the left side of that O-line.
And I know for the guys trying to move those big defensive people, they'd love for them to stay in one spot. But they move around so quick and so fast that sometimes you just have to grab them.
And he'll lose yardage and be down at the 7-yard line. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down. He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. You might have to think about some misdirection or something to try and get him away from the ball.
Going to leave it to Hunt on the draw. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he's stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
Gardner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it going right now.
Yeah, to this point in the 2nd quarter, it has been a struggle. And he'll get it up a little shy of the 15. They'll spot him down at the 14-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down. Here's Dustin Colquitt now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Here's Dustin Colquitt now as he's on to punt for Kansas City. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. It's taken to the 26. It looked like he might beat that last man. He doesn't, though, but it goes as a 32-yard return. And it'll be a short field for the Broncos as they take over 1st and 10. Denver getting set to take the field. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in, but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we would be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
Now T.J. Yeldon. Oh, now he bowls him over. So the offense has it 1st and 10. Now Cutler. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll bring up a second in just about a few inches here. Again, it's Yeldon. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a Bronco touchdown. T.J. Yeldon, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Broncos will add on to their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the 2nd quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the 2nd half.
And his kick is good. Now McManus on to kick this one off. Here's the dangerous Tyreek Hill. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Tyreek Hill making his way back out towards the huddle. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? 2nd quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us, but sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game. Now whistles and a flag down. Looked like one of the chief linemen might have moved.
False start, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. To throw on 2nd down is Smith. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Cliff Averill in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year. And I know it seems like we say this a lot in broadcast booths, but a quarterback can hold on to the football too long in these situations. I think he did right there.
Oh, I agree with you totally. Sometimes you have to understand situations. Get rid of the football, save some yardage, to make it less to gain for the next down. Instead, he was so hipped on ball security, he held on to it and took a big sack.
On 3rd down, that's Hunt, and he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. So we're at halftime here in Denver with the Broncos leading this one. As we send you on down to our studios in Orlando, where standing by is Larry Ridley with our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, back to you guys in a minute. But first, it's indeed time for our EA Sports Halftime Report. The Broncos are happy to be sitting in the locker room with a lead. The Chiefs just want to come out after the half and claw their way back into the game. All right, let's roll those highlights. Chiefs opening drive. Avrill's going to push his way to the QB here. This will go for a loss of 7. Down to late in the first. Here the pass is completed into coverage, and he caps off the 6-play drive with the score. They strike first in the half. Now 1st and 10. Cutler is going to find his mark, and he'll eventually be brought down, but not before getting to the 12-yard line. Broncos now later on the drive. Yeldon is going to look for a gap, and he'll go in from 2 yards out as they move out in front, 14-0. So that'll bring our halftime report to a close. We'll go back now to Sports Authority Field at Mile High for the start of the 3rd quarter.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be fielded at the 8. Runs over it, and now running right through it. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And shedding the tackle, and now some room. And he's going to wind up bringing this one inside the 45-yard line.
Now that's the kind of return that warms the heart of a special teams coach. He'll be pushing us next time, Brandon, to make sure his guys are introduced in the starting lineups. These guys have such an influence on every game. The unsung heroes, remember, they have their own meetings, their own practice time, heck, their own spot on the bench in order to be ready to play each and every week.
Second half begins with a run by Yeldon, and he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. To throw, Cutler. And that's complete to the tight end, Hireman. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Absolutely zero surprise at that throw we just saw. I mean, Jay Cutler has a whip for an arm.
He's had it since he won a state title at Heritage Hills High School in Southern Indiana.
Where in Southern Indiana, though?
Well, he's born in Santa Claus. How about that?
That's pretty strong right there.
Nearby to my hometown of Evansville. Bet you've never been there, have you?
I have not been there, but I'm looking forward to being invited for a holiday cheer.
You're invited. Put that on your bucket list.
Thank you.
On second down, here's Yeldon. They stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14.
So if I'm an offensive coordinator, there's one thing that I know for sure. This is one of the top 5 teams in the NFL against the run. So when I look at my playlist, I'm probably thinking about throwing it.
The Broncos on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. From the gun, it's Cutler. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on third down.
Holding offense.
So instead of giving them another third down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
And McManus able to put it through. And the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. So the drive stalls out, but they are able to put 3 points on the board.
Yeah, just a yard or 2 shorter than an extra point. So no problems converting there.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Here's Smith. He gets it complete to Harris. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Nice play for Kansas City, picking up the first 18 yards that time.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
That catch good for 5. It's third down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Throwing on third down, Smith. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be fourth down. Well, they tried to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackling.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage.
Ooh, with a juke. And now running right through it. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And Denver getting set to take the field. This is sort of what you would call the put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the score.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Justin Houston from his outside linebacker spot, forcing the sack for a loss of 8. That's their first time getting to the quarterback, sack number 1. And, you know, they had 5 last week, I'm remembering.
And you have to find a way to slow down the pass rush, not necessarily with just protecting your quarterback, but you show them a lot of different looks, and they did that in the first half. You know, different angles, different things to slow down the speed. They got to him here in the second half.
The Broncos on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Out of the gun, it's Cutler. Over the middle, complete. It's Garner. And the offense lining up 1st and 10. Now a handoff to Yeldon. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
And he's going to be met at about the 43. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Denver has a 1st down on the 15-yard play.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
First seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Here we go now.
They'll try the right side here with Yeldon. Wasn't a ton of space, but a great move. He's able to work it to the 20-yard line. Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw through 3 quarters. No reason to lighten up now. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving. Starting to feel a little to me like the air is coming out of the balloon, so to speak, defensively.
They're taking their will from them right now. That's what they're doing. Whatever they want to call, it's working. They're handling things up front. And it's not just the offensive line. It's everyone. You're seeing the guys on the perimeter blocking downfield and making sure that they're secure. So, yeah, you're exactly right. The air's out of the balloon, and right now they're almost lifeless.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Here's a give to Yeldon. And he'll take this one inside the 10, down to the 8. A 3-yard pickup on 2nd and 4. Now they'll need to convert here on 3rd and a little more than a yard. And in this situation with the lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see.
And he will fight his way into the end zone for a Bronco touchdown. Dion Lewis, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Broncos will extend their lead. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone can stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that's leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now, because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Tyreek Hill set to return it. Dances by him. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And oh, he sheds a tackle. Now he's got some space. 30, 20. And he brings this one all the way back. So definitely good for the individual stats. Maybe not for our storyline, but he's in for the late. And they will line up now for the 2-point try. Here's Smith. Feeling the pressure here and taken down. A sack back at the 7. So tried to throw it in for 2 points, but the D got home, brought him down.
Yeah, got home, which means there had to be good coverage. Just had nowhere to go with the ball. Typically, you're trying to throw quick hitters, quick slants, maybe even a quick fade. Nothing was open. He ends up getting sacked.
And the Broncos are going to get the football. 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. T.J. Yeldon with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Broncos will add on to their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
Now McManus on to kick this one off. Tyreek Hill on the return. He'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. And now here comes Kansas City. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
To throw is Smith. And he almost intercepted it. They haven't picked a ball off yet. That probably should have been their first. And it's 3rd down now. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
From the gun on third down, Smith. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. He's picked off at his own 47. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Bronco defense has a touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
Now McManus for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And now here comes Kansas City. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest,
don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
Here's Smith now on second down. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And a stoppage here. A timeout before this third down play takes place. As the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play. The Chiefs on third down. They're struggling. 0 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Out of the gun, Smith. And it's complete to Kelsey. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll stop him with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. On first down, Smith. He'll leave it for Hunt, complete. That goes for a Chiefs first down, 14 yards. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now, because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Kareem Hunt is running back, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down.
Well, they're slinging it, and then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown, out of his reach and incomplete. On 2nd and 10, Smith. And they're going to get him. He's taken down for a sack back at the 47-yard line. So the sack of Smith, and now the Chiefs coming up facing 3rd and long. From the gun, here's Smith. And they'll get him to the ground, but he got all the way down to the 30-yard line. They convert on 3rd with a gain of 22. And he'll indeed get him to the line and spike it here to stop the clock. And this looks to probably be the final play. One last throw here for Smith. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. And, Charles, you know what coaches always tell us. We want to win our home games. That much we know. We want to protect our home turf. They got that done in this one.
Exactly right. When you start a season, everyone's goal, win all of your home games, split your road games, and you're likely going to be in the playoffs. But when you win at home, boy, what a great feeling that is. You don't even mind if people are at your house when you get home after a win like that.
So for the Broncos, they continue to cruise through this first half of the schedule as they move to 8-0 now on the campaign. And they'll get another home date next week as the Raiders will come to town. Meanwhile, for Kansas City, the loss will drop them to 6-2 now on the year. And they'll try to turn things around next week as they have a matchup in Cincinnati against the Bengals. So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. The Broncos are winners as we say so long from Denver.